What's up, guys? Just poking around with the Desoto right now. This is a 57 Desoto Adventure. It's a very rare model for Desoto. 1,650 hardtops made. And what made these cars special was what's under the hood, which is a 345 cubic inch Hemi with 345 horsepower. So you got 1 horsepower per cubic inch, which, you know, for 57 was kind of a big deal. Chevy had their 283 horsepower. I really love, this is what first got me into these cars, is the trunk trim. Just something very cool about those strips on the trunk. No other car has them. It's very Nomad-esque, you know? You know how Nomads have the trunk bars on the tailgate? It's a very cool look. I always loved that. And then of course, Desoto is, they got the triple tree tail lights, which I love. Desoto had great tail lights from 56 to 59, pretty much. Those are my favorite anyways. Their tail lights are very distinctive. 57 had huge fins. As you can see, I need to do a full review on this car soon. Way overdue. Anyways, wanted to show you these babies. Gold hubcaps. Desoto's had gold, the Adventure, excuse me. So these are Adventure only, Adventure exclusive to the Adventure. And, you know, so Adventures had gold in the two-tone. It was either gold and white like this, or it was flipped. Gold up here, white right here, and then they had black and gold. These are really cool because they're not stainless like most hubcaps. These are actually aluminum hubcaps. And the reason they did that is because back then you couldn't anodize stainless. So they were aluminum, and for that reason, they're not always in the best of shape. Let's see here. You can see, like right there, it's kind of like, it's corroding a little bit. That's just aluminum. So I bought a bunch of them. We have one that came with the car, one set, and then I bought a second set. Just to have them, you know, hubcaps they're so easy to steal. So I figured, you know, can't hurt to have a second set, right? Very hard to find. I mean, if we're talking 1,650 hardtops and then 300 convertibles for 1957. I mean, you know, finding parts is something that's exclusive, like the hubcaps, is just very difficult. This is one air cleaner for one carburetor. Massive, dude. So it's a dual quad, so you got 2 air cleaners and they crisscross. Very cool. These are off the Dodge swept side. Those trucks that we own with the fins, and those trucks had their own exclusive hubcaps, which is pretty cool. This car is in great condition, man. This car, we found it in Jersey, and it was in a garage for like 40 years. Off the road for 40 years. And see right here. Previous owner couldn't get it started, and unfortunately, sadly, he passed away. And I had reached out to the president or vice president of the Desoto Club, and I told him I was looking for an adventure for my father, and it was worth a shot. You know, I had nothing to lose. And he said, all right. He had one himself. He was like fanatical about these things. He knew everything about these things, man. This guy was just, man, so much knowledge. And dude, how cool is that, you know? What a cool car. These are so underappreciated too. So he kept my information, and like 8 months later, he's like, hey, I think there's gonna be an adventure that's gonna pop up for sale. And I said, no way, dude. And he reached out to me, and we got hooked up with the sister of the brother who passed away. Very nice lady. And we worked out a deal, and it was a fair deal for both parties. I told her that, we're not flippers or anything like that, my dad wanted one, and it would be going to a good home. And we agreed on the price, I wasn't trying to lowball her or anything like that. Just wanted a good car, and man, did we get a good car. So this is the Hemi, 345 Hemi. This is the golden ticket. If you buy these cars, it's got to have the motor. The motor is so important to the value of the car. And not to mention, you want the motor, right? 345 horse. It's just something really cool about the Adventure model having their own specific motor, right? Desoto's had, I think, a 341 otherwise, and maybe there was a 331. I can't remember. This is 345 horse. And the guy who was the expert, he told us about the numbers, and I can't see the number. I don't think I can see here. It's on the block, kind of in front of the, I can't see it. But anyway, so there's numbers. It's S26. So that's the first three digits, letters and digits. And then hyphen the letter A, and that's the Adventure. So and then it's got a bunch of numbers afterwards, but that's what you're looking for. The lady, she was more than happy to look for the numbers. She got her hands dirty and everything, because there was a bunch of grease and grime over the numbers. So she helped us out. And it was a very important moment for her and for us, getting those numbers. These cars were hot rodded back in the day. It's not uncommon to find one and, it doesn't have the original motor in it, These guys they raced these cars and probably blew up the motors and so forth. So we bought the car. It was not running. And we're like, oh shit, because he was in the process of getting it running. So we had no idea what we were going to get. So we rolled the dice. And, like I said, the motor is so important to the value of the car. We paid a price that reflected a motor that was good. We totally rolled the dice, and we got it back, and it fired up. We changed the spark plug wires, spark plugs. We had to get a new distributor for it, unfortunately. I can't believe we were able. There was a company that sold a direct replacement. It's like a Mallory deal, but for the time being, we're gonna use it until we rebuild the original, because this motor has a specific distributor. And in his notes, the previous owner's notes, he was talking about how he couldn't get it to work, the distributor, because he was using, he had a couple of distributors. He was trying to get, he had one from a 300C Chrysler, which is a 392. But there's some kind of like bushing or something that he was trying to get to work, and it was whatever, So we found this place, put the distributor in, and we rebuilt the carburetors, and man, the motor sounds really good. It's a really healthy motor, and it all worked out. Just a great car, man. And the engine compartment is, it's just an old car. I love the feel, the vibe of just having an old car. You know what I'm saying? And you guys know, my old car guys out there, you know what I'm talking about. You're not worried about scratching anything, or, you know, I don't have any fender covers here, you know. It's an old car, and man, it's just something you can pretty much get in and go and not have to worry about rock chips and stuff like that. So pretty cool. Great car. And you got that up there with all that information. So those numbers are important if you buy one of these. You can see here. So they were big on the gold. I like it too. So one of the coolest things about this car, just a little detail. I love the dash, by the way. I love the dashes on Mopars. But if you look closely, that is not something you see on cars from the 50s. The speedometer shows 150, which means there's 160 top speed. You don't see that on 50s cars. That is really cool. That's all because of the 345 horsepower. And got the push button. Love that push button, man. I love Mopar. My dad's 58 swept side has the push button, which is really cool. I mean, it's a pickup truck. You know, most pickup trucks had, you know, a 3-speed manual, 3 on the tree. What else? It's got power windows, and they work. That's always cool. You know, rolling down windows is a pain in the ass, so that's nice. Not a lot of options on these cars, man. They had some crazy options though back in the day. They had a record player option that goes underneath the dash, like a huge, massive record player, which I thought is the coolest thing, man. Look what they put the rearview mirror. It's on the dash. It's low as opposed to being up there. I think this interior was redone. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure about the side panels, but the carpet down here, I don't know if that's correct. Anyways, so I just want to show you something. They put adventure everywhere on these cars. That's cool. Right above. And look at that. That little, that's pretty cool. Anyways, Mopars, you know, you don't get to see a lot of these on YouTube and social media. You know, 50s Mopars are just, the following in the hobby is not as big as Chevy, not even close. So it's really cool to see these cars in detail, you know, especially something that's really, this is a really special car, and a lot of people don't know because they're not talked about. Desoto Adventurer is a really special car, especially if you have a convertible, you know, 6-figure car all day long. You know, they'll go at auction for 200 grand for a 57 Adventure convertible. Just really special cars, expensive cars. Back in the day, they were 4 grand. And the only thing more expensive for Mopar was the Chrysler 300C. And Chrysler 300C had their, you know, the 392 Hemi 375 horse. That was the only car more powerful than this car, the 345 horse. And that's another badass car. That was 5 grand. So Mopar was clearly trying to compete with Cadillac with styling and performance. I think they nailed the performance though. You know, I think they got General Motors on performance. Styling is up for debate. It really is. I love my Cadillacs, you know, but I really like these fins too. You know, it's really cool. Anyways, I'm not going to do a review right now, although I just discussed a lot of it. I'll pull it out in the driveway and I'm going to go through it, start up the motor. I uploaded a video a little while back, and it wasn't too in-depth though. So I want to go through this car with you guys. and maybe go for a ride or something. All right. So till then, thanks for watching.